Oh, now let us run. With Hypno, you'll have so much fun.
Yes, hello, I am James Rowlands, and today it's the WNR's 8th Annual Halloween Spooktacular. Yes, I have all the sound effects with me today, but luckily I am not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by the entire WNR team, and I tell you something, we are getting so close to one another. It doesn't feel like a team anymore. It feels more like something else, and I think I should sing a song about it. The creepy and the kooky, mysterious and spooky, they're all together rookie, the WNR family. The house is a museum, when people come to see them, they really are a scream, the WNR family. Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody listening. If you can tell or not, I know, I really like Halloween shows, but like I said, luckily I am not by myself here. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW pay-per-view is, of course, a fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How you doing? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween, James. It's great to be here and looking forward to discussing the horrors at Halloween Havoc.
Without shadow of a doubt. And up next, he's back. And it's our resident New Japan and NXT expert. So he should be all right for today's show. It is Monty. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I should be comfortable. Yeah, you're right. Happy to be back. First team show back in the saddle. Feel like I didn't miss much, but I guess I was gone a month. But, happy to be back with you guys talking about these shows. Like you said, I'm being in my comfort zone. So let's get into it. Now, I must say, though, damn, you old, James, as far as the Addams family stuff goes. You old, man. All right, leaving that alone.
How dare you, sir? I am taking that theme from the animated film Netflix, that kid's stream, I've heard. You see, so I'm pretty much up to date. If you think that was bad, you wait till the next fucking song. Because last, but by no...
Oh, it's another one.
Oh, man, it's coming. It's a gift that keeps on giving here. But last, but by no means least, I was working on the pod late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From a monster from her slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, she did the mash. She did the monster mash. She did the mash. It was a graveyard splash. She did the mash. She did the monster mash. Yes, of course, it's the WNR's own monster. It is Gina. How's it going?
Wait, did you just call me a monster?
No.
Was that referring to me being a cute one? I was going to say she's more like a gremlin.
Look.
Hey.
God.
Well, either way, thank you, James. I love that reference.
The thing is, I called you a
Very
beast
old
last
again,
week.
by the way.
Yeah, literally. I called Gina a beast and now a monster. How do I get away with it? I nearly didn't there. So there you go. You see? Always happens.
Well, it always happens. But one thing I do want to say, Monty's back! Yay! Welcome back, Monty. I missed you.
Thank you. Oh, that's sweet. My heart warmed a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. But it's about
Can
the
you
Halloween
feel the
special.
love?
It's about
Can
the
you feel
Halloween
the
Yeah, I
show.
love how
No,
James skips past it.
No,
Like,
we're skipping a few months. Skipping a few months. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's great, but
it's nice to have you on the WNR podcast with us all.
well, you know what? It's weird that you bring up Monty. It's almost like we planned it. First, I should say, before we get to that, this podcast is dropping on my birthday. Guys, I know you're planning a surprise, all right? So just keep it tight within the three of you at the moment. It's going to be crazy later on. I'm pretty sure it is. But as we say, Monty, we talked about in the last show celebrating your 2-year anniversary. Do you remember the first time on what show it was for the first WNR podcast? I know you've had so much fun since then.
Yeah, it's so much. I don't think I remember the particular first show, but I'm pretty sure it was like something involving Gargano or Finn Balor, Adam Cole, like all types of people who have nothing to do with NXT anymore right now. So.
Well, weirdly enough, yeah. How did you know? I think it was Balor versus O'Reilly for the NXT title. Takeover 31, October 5th. The WNR 3-1-1. You see, it's crazy. And well, Jackson and Gina know what's coming, basically, Monty, because I did this to them. And I did it to myself, so it's only fair. No, it's only fair, as we say, a trick or treat. How would you like to listen? How would you like to listen to yourself the very first time you're on the WNR podcast?
Listen to myself?
Yep, it's your first appearance.
Why not?
Yeah, this is so weird considering how comfortable we are with each other now. This is the first ever conversation. So anybody listening, just get that, all right?
No.
Here we go. Yes, hello. I am James Rowlands, and today it's a WNR 3-11, and it's NXT Takeover 31. And it's a pleasure to say that I'm joined by the mind of Monty. How you doing, mate? You all right?
All right, how you doing? It's your boy Monty G from the Mind of Monty podcast. I'm happy to be here. Happy to join you here today. Well, tonight for you guys.
Well, without a shadow of a doubt, it's always great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your podcast?
So right now, currently, I'm 24 years old. I'm a grad student at Arkansas State University in America, in Arkansas. So I'm a grad student, and I do radio and television. My podcast is strictly wrestling based, just commentary, comments on the show. Right now, we're doing strictly reviews, but I have a couple of ideas to switch it up and add new things, like going to YouTube and doing different types of things. But it's just right now, it's just a grad student who has extra time, who needs to vent about the stuff that he likes to watch. And, I love wrestling. Been watching it since I was a little kid, so. I think I have an extensive knowledge, not to toot my own horn, but I've watched a lot of wrestling over the years, so and I just enjoy it. So, that's pretty much what it's about. It's just me and my fiance who hosted with me, and she kind of intros and does gives her commentary when she sees fit. And but yeah, we just have fun and talk wrestling.
Well, that's brilliant, and it's great to have someone on and try and help. Enough of me, fuck that. Monty, not too bad, was it? Before I kind of beat the spirit out of you.
Yeah. Oh, I had no clue what the hell I was in for. That's the first thing I know. There's so much more pain now in my voice.
It's just unassuming,
James Something's added to that pain. I can tell. James added to the pain.
Yeah, he does it on purpose, man. We're so stressed out now. Like when we weren't really picking matches and we were just talking, it was, I must say though, I hate hearing myself speak, to be honest. So it's funny that I put so many people through it all the time.
Same. I don't think I can't listen to myself back. I really can't. So you're not alone there, Monty.
Yeah, I do it a lot because I have to edit all the stuff that I do. But once I'm done with that, I just put it out there and leave it alone.
Well, should we listen to Gina's first one again? Shall we?
Oh no! Don't do that to me again.
I'm joking.
Actually, let me rephrase that. Don't do that to the fans again, okay? That was already painful enough for them to hear once, okay?
It's like I was the worst one of you all because I'm going, hello and welcome to the podcast. Like, what the fuck am I doing? It's just, it's crazy.
I had way too many notes back then, too.
I don't want to say you gave me a life story, but...
Yeah, I was over-prepared. Now I barely write anything down. So,
see, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Like we said, we are here now, and what a show we have got. Yeah, believe it or not, we are got a show for you. We're going to look at New Japan's Declaration of Power and, of course, review NXT Halloween Havoc 2022. But before that, let's start in New Japan. Monty, did you see Royal Quest 2 and did you see us?
If I did, it was one out of the few times that they panned and zoomed out. I didn't make out anything, to be honest, as far as like seeing you guys. I definitely tried, but I didn't pause it. If I did, I definitely would have told y'all, hey, yo, go watch 16 minutes and whatever in so you can see. But no, I didn't. But I did enjoy both shows, even though, those shows kind of felt, not going to call them house shows, but they just seemed like such a good time for the most part. Even though it was some very important matches on that card, also with FTR, and I think they were the first night. Yeah, FTR was. And then the second night was Naito and Zack Sabre Jr. So, yeah, it ended up being some pretty fun cards. I finally got a chance to see it on New Japan World. I wish it was less of a time delay on that because I was kind of, I had already knew everything going into it pretty much. But still, it looked like a very, very fun night, and you guys were awesome in the crowd. I love those British crowds. So it was a good time. It ended up being a very, very fun show, and it translated well over to New Japan World.
No, that's good. And like I said, I've not fully watched it yet. Jax, have you caught up with night 1 and night 2 yet of like we talk about Royal Quest? There's so much wrestling, I need to forgot the name of it.
I've caught up with Royal Quest 1. I've started Royal Quest 2, which there's some parts, if I pause it, and because I know where I'm sat, you could probably see my big Afro-style hair because I had my hair out, and obviously the humidity was making it get hotter and hotter in there. However, I haven't gotten to Okada's match yet, so I can't see if, you can just see me getting caught by the security or not. So I'm looking forward to getting into that match.
When I saw it, they focused mostly on Okada, so I didn't really I was looking for something like a distraction. I was looking for a bunch of people to be making noise or something, but I didn't make nothing out. But it could still be there because, like you said, at least you know where you were.
Yeah, Gina, please tell us that those pictures I sent, you did see us there. Like that, I'm not me tripping out. Like I'm sure Monty they were.
I mean, I think you can see there is a blurred white line, and I believe that is James with his blurred white T-shirt because there is a slight orange twinge next to his T-shirt, and I believe that's my beer.
Yes, orange tinge. Yes, white line. Get in there. That's
white line.
Yeah, we're gonna get that printed for a Christmas.
Yes,
postcard.
Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't forget to add in my beer. My beer made it to the screen. Okay.
Yeah, that was important because it wasn't there for long. So like I said,
putting them down.
Hey, I cannot confirm or deny, but
what are you on about? The cup never was empty; it just got refilled, so it's fine.
Yeah. So we talk about the main event basically of night 1, which is FTR versus Aussie Open for the New Japan tag team titles. Dax with a gusher. We saw Cash fly as well. And Mark Davis and Carl Fletcher proved they were the best tag teams in the world. One of my favourite spots was when Dax stripped Davis for the sharpshooter. Fletcher tried to make the save, got the sharpshooter too. And we see Fletcher crawled to Davis, grabbing his hand, stop him tapping, even slapping him across the face to fire him up to get to the ropes. There was so much to like here. Of course, the big rig was enough to get the job done. But this was a fantastic match. Jackson, what were your thoughts on this matchup? Because this is Match of the Year candidate.
I mean, it kind of reminded me slightly of the match that FTR had with the Briscoes in Ring of Honor. And I think that was predominantly because you just, like, we as fans of FTR know that they're just going to be badass. But when you actually see them against the likes of Aussie Open, you just really can't tell who's going to win in that scenario. There were so many hype moments between both teams that is just kind of like, it could have ended either way. This definitely was not only a match of the year candidate, but I actually would say that this, very rightly so, should have been the main event because it was just incredible. It was so good to watch. And FTR never do a bad tag team match anyway, but just getting to see them against the likes of Aussie Open, especially live, well, not for us, but like imagining we were there, considering we were there 24 hours later, it was great.
Yeah, without doubt. And again, Gina, this is true. Like Monty said, it's a shame we didn't get a chance to see the match before we actually. I don't know if we mentioned it, Monty, but we actually met FTR. You know, I don't like. I'll pick up that name I just dropped there. But they were. Gina, their reaction, they loved that match. You know, they even said like with Aussie Open, we'll do that match any time again. You know.
Yeah, I remember them saying that when we met them. No, I remember them saying that, and to be honest, I think that's the biggest kind of regret as to why I didn't go on the Saturday. I would never regret going on the Sunday because that was our actual birthday, and I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to top that. It was just such a great day, but that match the night before is one that I am truly, truly, truly gutted that I didn't get to watch live because it was such an amazing match, and like you said, it's pretty much contender for a match of the year. At this point. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, well, like I said, really, really good. If anyone's seen that match, go and watch it now. And we talk about being there, and we talk about great tag teams, and, of course, the Good Brothers as well were at Raw Quest. Shocked everybody by joining WWE. But what's more interesting as well is Kyle Anderson was scheduled to defend his Never Openweight Championship against Hikuleo in the upcoming Battle Autumn event on November 5th, but can't now because he's going to Saudi Arabia in a 6-man. Now, when this story first broke, I thought obviously they've come to a working relationship. But Monty, this just seems like WWE are undercutting them now, and it'll probably just be one match and dropping the title.
James, can you just explain that again? So the match with Hikuleo got cancelled because he's going to Crown Jewel now. Is that right? Because I didn't know what was going to happen with that.
Yeah, no, he's double booked basically. He was going to defend against Hikuleo.
Yeah,
but
they're still going like it's still going to happen. But you know, you can't be in Saudi Arabia and Japan at the same time. So, yeah, it's a mess. It looks like a mess. At first, I was like you, James. I thought it was all a part of something that they have going on. But Obari has made statements. The president of New Japan has made statements basically saying he expects his champions to show up where they were scheduled. And as far as I know, this November 5th, I don't know when exactly the date was made, but I know, as far as I know, they have had a show planned for November 5th for a while. It's not a surprise that they want the open weight title to be defended there. But I don't necessarily know, again, how the hell did he even get permission, or how did the Good Brothers get permission to come back, or at least go over to WWE if they're going to not have a working relationship or not find a way to work this out. Because, like, again, this was known by both companies. He is the open weight champion in New Japan right now. So, and it seemed like, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but New Japan seemed that they were going in the direction that maybe Tama Tonga will get another shot down the line at Wrestle Kingdom and take the belt back or something. That's probably what I was assuming they were going to go. So, especially after Tama's situation we'll get into later. But, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about it. It's bad business, like you said, in my opinion, if it's because it's like you said, it sounds like WWE is just enforcing their way into this. Like, we're WWE. He said he's going to be with us. We booked him. He's going to have to go with us. And I don't know exactly where Carl and Gallo stand on this situation either. But I also haven't really looked that part up either. I'm pretty sure they've said something by now. But yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, John.
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, Gallows and Anderson went on Twitter and gave a statement. Gallows does the booking, but again, it's just the Good Brothers. I soured on them in Impact when it was a kind of just collecting money, and I cannot believe WWE signed them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not stopping anybody getting employment, but just they're not in ring and they're just driven by money, and it's crazy to think. Even people go, well, it's a contract, and they only had a handshake agreement. But, Monty, you'll know how important a handshake agreement or, men of their word, even, dating back, so old, back in the day, where you gave your word, that was your bond,
Exactly. And then also, like Hikuleo said in his promo recently about Carl Anderson, like, you need to, you don't forget where you came from, like, at the end of the day. Like you are a new, like you are a New Japan guy. Only Carl Anderson was not like Gallows, who had a name in WWE before all of this, and then before he went to Japan ever and all. Like Carl Anderson's name was built because of his G1 performance in New Japan against Shinsuke Nakamura many years ago. That's the reason why he's always seemed better in Japan. They've always treated him that way, so it's kind of a big middle finger to just kind of do that to a company, even if, like you said, nothing has been on, paper, and like you said, it's been handshake agreements. Well, the only reason why they even trusted you enough to just have a contract where it's just a handshake thing with you guys is because of a relationship that I'm assuming they thought that they had with those guys, especially when they all seemed like they were going to return to the fold after their Impact deals were up. So again, it really looks bad, and like you said, I'm not the biggest. I like Gallows and Anderson. I've always liked them, like in New Japan and all that. Like you said, I didn't like their Impact runs. Like they didn't really get creative at all with anything they were doing. Like you said, you could tell it was just for the check. And now I'm assuming it is still also for the money in this situation. And I understand giving AJ some backup, but yeah, honestly, I don't know. I think the OC is on their last few legs, and I think doing bad business here with New Japan can cost them in the end because, like I said, who knows what can happen in the next few years if they're not going to be still under the WWE banner. Then I don't think they'll be allowed to just run back to New Japan if they don't after an act like this, because again, it just seemed like a very disrespectful way to do things, even from WWE side, to not even try to work anything out or whatever, figure something out. Like, cause again, you can have Cameron Grimes step in as Gallows' partner for the 6-man or whatever. Have someone attack Anderson, he's out. Have Judgment Day hurt him, and Anderson can go do the gig for Saudi Arabia, drop the belt if you need him to, and he can go and you can be on his merry way. You can do it that way. It doesn't have to be throwing your weight around either way, in my opinion.
I think about that, and again, you meet the same people on the way up as you do the way down, so you got to, be the same or not at all. But we're going to get on to New Japan now because, of course, it is time for Declaration of Power, which was October 10th.
King of Sports, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I fucking love that. Anyway, so we've got the 10-count ceremony for Antonio Inoki. Now, I tried my best, Monty, but what made, and again, try and keep it short if you can, what made Antonio Inoki so great? Because I know he's just well renowned, shall we say.
Yeah, I think the best way I can put it without going, because like you said, you have to try to keep it short with Inoki because he has over 50 years of history in this business. And honestly, I think the best way to sum it up is like he's like New Japan's what would it be if like their Vince McMahon, their founder. Like he's like what would be if that and their greatest wrestler of all time for a long time in the country is like wrapped up into one. Like think about it that way. Like if whoever's your greatest wrestler of all time in your mind, mix them with the greatest promoter or whatever, or the founder of the biggest promotion in Japan, and then think about it that way. And that's what you saw with with all the respect and all that. Because even if the relationship didn't necessarily end off the best with Inoki in New Japan, he is their founder. This is their 50th anniversary. So for something like this to happen, for it to time out like this, it was a very, very highly emotional moment. But again, you see the respect New Japan. They do this for a lot of their legends and all that who pass on. They come out and they do it very, very respectfully like that. Even the little touch of having the heels kind of in the back while the baby faces are out, part of for everyone to see during it is just always a nice touch for me when it comes to doing this. But yeah, this is a big deal. Like I said, one of the, if not the greatest Japanese superstar of all time. He set the mold of what everybody wants to be. Who Okada is, what Tanahashi was in the 2000s. He is that mold. That he's the flag bearer, fighting the foreign menace, stuff like that. That is all Antonio Inoki, and an innovator of mixed martial arts also. So he's a big deal.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was very emotional seeing all the wrestlers as well. Of course, Okada, and, you know, seeing Cry, you know, just means the impact that it had. And then we had Ren Narita, Robbie Eagles, David Finlay defeating Suzuki Gun, which is Dookie, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and El Desperado. I've been watching Narita on Strong, but this is his first match back in Japan after Exile. I always like that they've been on Exile, you know. They worked Ren to introduce him back to Japan, but he had the last laugh by winning thanks to a German suplex. I cannot believe Robbie and Dave got paid for that. It was all Ren Narita, basically, from start to finish. We then had Dangerous Tekkers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi defeating TMDK, or the Mighty Don't Kneel, Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste. Zack Sabre Jr. can do tag or single, but the thing I like most about him, Gina, throw some shade at Zack Sabre Jr. Go on, Gina.
I mean, there's not much to say, really, is there, about him?
Burn.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Big techers.
Yeah, new block on Twitter for me.
Yeah. Well, no, like I said, out of the group, like, Bad Dude has grown on me, and I like the name Big Teeth.
There was a promo that Monty sent of Zack Sabre Jr., and it was just of him blaming one of his match losses on Boris Johnson. I think I've seen it was so entertaining.
Yeah, about that. And I do love Zack's European clutch. And I know we shouldn't praise him, but it is really, really good. And then we get Hiroshi Tanahashi, Rizuki Taguchi, and Hikuleo defeating House of Torture, Joe and Yuri Takahashi. It's a great thing is I'm starting to learn who they are, but not House of Torture. But this again was a fun match, I suppose. And then United Empire, Great Akana Jeff Cobb defeated Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi. Your Hero Mine, Great Akan won the Battle of the Sticks. Bishamon impressed, but Khan and Cobb looking like a proper tag team. Khan talked to them after they won. And this I love Great O'Khan because he got in their faces after victory, going like, yeah, which is something that I do, you know, which is great to see. And then Monty, I cannot do this. Los Ingobernables de Japan. What the fuck is that?
Los Ingobernables de Japón, or the Ungovernables of Japan.
Well,
Los Ingobernables.
No one likes to show off, but Tetsuri Naito.
Just say L.I.J. I promise you, it's fine.
L.I.J.
Yeah.
Naito, Sanada, Takahashi, and Bushi defeat United Empire, Will Ospreay, Aaron Henare, Francisco Akira, and TJP. Titan.
Cursing people out in Italian, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I apologise. Again, I'm going to do it with Titan because they were called like Titan.
Titan. But yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I look, pronounce it wrong. That's what I'm going to do. So Titan of Kumala with CML joined.
CML.
LIJ aiding the group. Revealed himself on the mask and asked to join. They discussed the matter as they should, and then they hold their fists in the air. And if they put their fists in with him and they keep it, then he's accepted. Which I kind of guessed, but I like the ooh from the crowd when he was accepted. Monty, what the fuck does this mean?
They were purely confused. That's what I like. Usually when these people join factions, it's a plan by the leader or something like that. No, Naito and the crew were like, what the hell is this guy doing? They literally they did that the whole promo. They were confused as us. That's what I liked about it. But what this means is Tag League Best of Super Junior is coming up. And Hiromu was probably going to be doing other things. Probably fighting for the Super Junior title. And, Bushi is right there. No tag team partner for the junior division. So it just seems like a very smart decision to get Teton, who's a guy who's battling their junior division for a while now. I remember watching Best of Super Junior and all of that. So he's pretty good talent. I have no problem with it. We'll have to see how he works with Bushi. I'm pretty sure their styles will mesh, that Lucha Libre style. But, by the way, funny thing about this segment to me is Obviously, Los Ingobernables, that's Spanish. And this is from this group's origin is in Mexico. Naito adopted it and brought it to Japan. This is the first Latin member of Los Ingobernables, Japan's chapter. So, hey, I thought it was cool. We have to see how it work out, though. I think that just means we got new best Super Junior tag contenders, though.
Gotcha. God, I smell what you're cooking. Gina, of course, Will Ospreay wrestles, so I got to ask your thoughts on him. And do you think he'll keep his title in the big match going up with Naito?
I mean, that's a really difficult question. I'm always going to be biased to go with Will all the time. I do think that he should hold his belt a little bit longer because I think he's just been on a roll lately and he needs to keep it going. So I do think that it would be a good idea to keep the belt on him. However, anyone going against Naito, I originally, when I first started to watch New Japan, I kind of had him more in the jobber section in my head. Again, I have not watched New Japan, so I don't know where people are. So I kind of looked to him, first of all, and just saw him on the jobber level. Nah, that completely changed my mind during the whole G1 circuit. So knowing that he's got this match of Will upcoming, I am a little bit worried because I actually think that Naito is one of those silent but deadly wrestlers. And I feel like he's always the one that's like constantly surprising you. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a tough battle for Will. It's not gonna be easy at all.
No, like I said, it's something to look forward to as it comes up. And Kushida was pulled from this card as he continued to recover from hand, foot, and mouth disease. Master Wato took his place. Again, heavyweight champion Taiji Ishimori. Surprisingly, Wato won. After the match, both Takahashi and El Desperado said they wanted a shot at the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Ishimori challenged him to a four-way match. It's a shame about Kushida, but Monty, I've got a feeling Ishimori was always going to lose this match.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But also, it's very interesting to me that they gave this victory to Master Wato, who, like, even after the match, El Desperado, the first thing he said was like, "Wow, I can't believe you won!" Everyone was shocked that Wato won that one. But it was a great match too because Taiji is so great at targeting the shoulder and everything, and he put Wato through a lot of mess before he powered back for the comeback at the end. But yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting because all four of these guys, they're all great. I'd like to see what Wato can bring to this table because I think we all know what the champion and two former champions can bring to the table. But this is going to be fun. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But, yeah, I agree with you. Taiji probably was always going to lose this match, but I thought this was a creative way to kind of save or at least excite the junior division going forward after this situation with Kushida until he can come back and possibly load up for something. I don't know if it'll be at Wrestle Kingdom or after.
Yeah. I mean, before I started watching New Japan kind of weekly, as it was now, I remember the Chokeslam report telling me how kind of serious Japan was and the type of matches that they had, and it kind of meant everything.
Yeah.
So it's a bit surprised to see a Who's Your Daddy match between Shingo Takagi and El Phantasmo. With
Blame that damn trophy.
Can I just say, right, Phantasmo called Shingo Daddy, then hit a low blow after and broke the trophy. He had a dummy in his mouth as well, as a forfeit, I hope. But this was comedy. The promo video with sound effects to I'm Your Daddy t-shirts and spanking. But look, I know there's two great performances, but what the fuck is this, Monty? You know when you think you've just smoked too much for the night? Like, I'm kind of like, what?
Yeah. Yep, no. And honestly, I agree 100%. It's absolutely very, very, very out of this world. But the thing is, that's what that trophy is all about. Like, you have fun with the stipulation. They put out a poll, and since the daddy stuff kept coming up, usually they vote on these stipulations. I don't necessarily think that's what happened in this situation because I think they had a story already going into it, so I don't necessarily understand the parent obsession. But the match itself, if you can get past all of the weirdness,
Don't do it.
was freaking great because they were beating the hell out of each other. They're good at their job. Like, he dropped him dead on his head like 3 times in a row.
He had a
And
dummy.
then thought he should hug him after the match for some reason.
We talk about show my age. I remember 1, 2, 3 Kid in a diaper. So this was kind of very similar to what we had.
Yeah.
Up next, bit more serious. Up next is we had Jonah versus Kajuka. I can never Kajuka. How do you Jaxie? What's the card name? I can never Kajuka. Can we all do it? Kajuka. I can't do it.
Or you can go Kazuchika, like a lot of people are saying now, Kazuchika. But it's Kazuchika.
Yes, exactly. I think it comes easier when, especially when there's a bunch of, sort of anime fans. You kind of get used to the Japanese names, the way they pronounce them a lot easier. So don't feel embarrassed that you don't necessarily pronounce it correctly, James, because this sort of thing happens on a daily basis anyway. We're in a time where there's mixed culture everywhere, so we're gonna pronounce names wrongs and stuff. It's just all about us trying to get it right at one point, and you will get there.
Well, I'm gonna do it Spanish way, so the Kazuchika. See, so I'm gonna go, hey, Kazuchika Okada. People are gonna be like, why the fuck are you saying that for? But again, Okada versus Jonah. Okada got in real trouble after 10 minutes or so. He moved to legs, which you don't see a lot. Smart way of chopping Jonah down to size. Jonah survived the money clip and crushed Okada with a lariat. Hit the power bomb like he did last time, but missed the tsunami splash. And from there, it's about getting the finish. We saw Okada win with the Rainmaker. Jackson, your man can do no wrong at this moment in time. Is he the favourite to walk out Wrestle Kingdom as champion?
Hell yes, but I might be a little bit biased there because I don't think that my man can do no wrong. I mean, I don't think that Okada can do no wrong. That's what I meant. So yeah, I'm quite biased to ask that too. You might want to ask someone who's a bit more of a mutual, neutral based a person like Monty. He might he might tell me differently, although I probably won't listen because I still will believe he'll come out as champion at Wrestle Kingdom. Again, we had a great match between these two during the G1, and we actually saw what a lot of people didn't actually think would ever happen, which was Jonah pin Okada then. So, I mean, as you can tell from how lighthearted I sound, I'm very pleased to know that Okada picked up that win again. So he's back on track.
I cannot wait for a big match between Okada and Ospreay and just see
I'm gonna be peak.
Go off.
Definitely wouldn't put me and my sister in the same room together when that match is on. There might actually turn out to be a battle between us two as well.
We might end up fighting, so we should definitely not be in the same room as one another.
It's just like derby days in football. We can't speak with our father when it's Tottenham versus Arsenal because we argue with our father. So we're used to it.
Can I ask which ones? Can I ask? I know we're not football, but
our dad's Tottenham and we're Arsenal.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're both Arsenal.
Good. I like your dad. Good.
I didn't realise we didn't discuss that.
No, I'm pleased about it. Let's go with you, Spurs. Monty, what about this match in itself? And we were having a little chat about the Vader versus Inoki similarities.
Yeah, 100%. This is, like I said, this is what Antonio Inoki made famous. Basically, fighting the big foreign heel, the menace, and in this case, I guess Jonah wouldn't be a bad guy, but yeah, he's definitely, the foreign, the outside of the force of nature, and he had a great legendary matches with Vader, Stan Hansen. I think even Jonah mentioned after this match, Bam Bam Bigelow, also, like all types of guys that he would eventually have great bouts with over the world title most of the time, or in a situation like that. And it was all the fantastic drama. And I think this match was a perfect callback to that style. It was a lot of Inoki antics here. The Insecurity, a move that Inoki pretty much made famous around the world, is something Okada used in this match. He did his pose after he won the match. Like Inoki really meant a lot. Okada was bringing him up a lot for a couple of years now to try to get him back here. He really wanted to get him here at the next Wrestle Kingdom because it was the 50th anniversary. He really looks up to him. As you can see with his gear and everything, the way he's been carrying himself throughout this year, Okada is really trying to say that he is the flag bearer for the next 50 years like Inoki was. And this match was all about that, man. It was fantastic to watch. The crowd was, oh, man, they love Jonah. Like I said, that crowd reacts to every damn thing Jonah does. And that even against restrictions here, because this match still had restrictions. And that by the end of it, you could not tell, just like the other match. So this is fantastic stuff. Okada is the man, and you can't say enough about him.
No, without a doubt. Like I said, Inoki with the torn or whatever you would call the signature, you know, when he was posing for pictures afterwards. And like you said, the crowd, and it just adds to it, and it shows you what a kind of legitimate threat Jonah is. Respect afterwards with shaking a hand, which maybe makes me think that might be it for Jonah. And if Triple H, I said this to you, Monty, a couple of months ago, if Triple H is making that phone call to get him back as a monster, then he can go anywhere and be a world champion. I'm not just saying that.
I'm hearing he is, by the way. I'm hearing Triple H is already calling.
Yeah. But I quite like the name Jonah. It's going to be a bit of an adjustment to go back to Bronson Reed because Jonah's such a fucking name. But
that's a good point.
Then again, you know, it's Apple and Orange just moaning about that first world problems. We got IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Versus Otis, if that happens, I'm gonna actually have a bitch fit because that is the first match that I'm starting to think of if we actually put Jonah / Bronson Reed back into it. So give me that match.
Well, we got the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Jay White defeated Tama Tonga. Again, I'm not one to moan, but this was like 30 minutes. And to be fair, I did like some of the stuff where Tama was being tested, see if he'd use a chair, decided against it, did hit a low blow. But for so long, and again, it's more about the personality and the story. But I think for me, the action was missing a little bit. Don't get me wrong. The closing stretch was great with the counters and the gun stun. Put both down. Tama went for a big one soon after, only to get caught in the Blade Runner. It was good stuff, but I just felt... that's my biggest complaint with New Japan. Sometimes it feels like a Triple H main event.
Yeah, it could be a marathon, but I think that could be the case. Sometimes I'm watching. We're gonna get into NXT tonight. NXT right here, and I thought some of these matches were too long for what was going on in them. So it just depends on, like you said, what you're watching and how invested you can be into it. I think with the story and knowing the history of Tama Tonga and knowing how, if you know his background and know that he wasn't always a Bullet Club, high-ranking associate that a lot of people who just coming in to watch. No, when he came in and he was coming out of the dojo, he was not taken seriously much at all. He lost a lot. And I think what happened when he got with Prince Devitt and Carl Anderson and all that elevated Tama Tonga. His brother came along for the ride. Then they became the great tag team that a lot of people, know them from and all of that. But to watch, I do agree, it was very lengthy. There were certain points where, like, Jay White was still hitting him in the corner much later after doing the shoulder charges to his ribs much earlier. And I was like, wow, okay, I do know what you mean. It did drag at times. But like you said, that final sprint to me and the storytelling, because of, I know that Jay White's character, he was trying to do whatever he can to break the wheel of Tama Tonga and show him that he don't belong. And Tama Tonga showed him throughout by continuing to fight and continuing to, counter punch each other like they tend to do. Neither one of those guys are like Jay White can be hard hitting, but Tama's not really hard hitting. He's more of a counter puncher as a wrestler, like they mentioned in the match. He's very good at reversing stuff and coming out of nowhere using his athleticism. And he did that a lot. But like you said, this match could have been paced better. I agree there, but I thought it still told a great story and everything made sense, even with Tama coming up short to me. I thought it was great. And Jay White did nothing but try to put Tama Tonga over after this match to let everyone know that this signifies Thomas' ascension to more than just a tag team specialist. He can be a man, a serious title contender or champion on his own now, and that's the thing I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I like. Jay White afterwards on the mic and saying, I never thought, even during the match, saying you don't belong, and saying, no, you belong now, I'm just better, which again, for a heel, works perfectly as well. And like we said, the Wrestle Kingdom main event is set. It will be Okada versus Jay White. And it'll be interesting because we're going to know a lot more heading into Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, we'll do a full review in the new year. But one of the things that was announced as well, and maybe because I was moaning about it, but they've introduced a new championship, the World Television Championship. So younger talent with an emphasis on speed. A 15-minute time limit will be held for each match and will be posted on New Japan's social media accounts. This is New Japan's World TV title. Imagine a WWE Network title, I think it would be fair to say. Even the belt looks nice, but it's big weld on it, and it is big. Again,
I like how they explained it though. They blamed the company. They was like TVI. it's like really want to celebrate 50 years. We've been with them for 50 years, so here's the belt to commemorate that and whatever. But they did say one thing. They want to focus on young talent, like you said, and Ren Narita is in this tournament, so that's my prediction.
Well, this is what I'm going to try and get round to, and I'll say the first list, the full list of first round matchups is listed below. Of course, we've got some of the votes. So Zack Sabre Jr. is through. David Finlay. Jeff Cobb lost to Yoshihashi. I was shocked. Evil beat
Me too.
Hanara. Sanada beat Taichi. Hirogoto lost to Kenta. We still got Tomohiro Ishii versus Ren Narita and Toriyano versus the Great Okan. So we're going to say your pick, Monty, for that then would be Ren Narita to show him. Well,
I'm surprised. Yeah, I think it'll be a perfect way to just give him something to sink his teeth to right off the bat, especially since he's not really in a faction quite yet or anything. And then I think he'll fit the format nice and well. If they truly mean they want to focus on the younger talent, then he definitely should go over at least on Ishii right now. So either way it go, we'll see. But that's my early thoughts after I saw the bracket.
It is very similar to the Impact digital media title, but then again, no one's going to give Impact any credit, so it doesn't matter. But that's
it is. It's very similar.
Yeah, but we will be back. What we'll do, I think, next month, we'll review the, of course, Will Ospreay and Naito US title match, and of course, we've still got Halloween Havoc to come. But we did have Triple Mania coming out as well, and there was a huge announcement about a new, basically a new program coming to Disney Plus, where AAA wrestlers portraying Marvel comic characters. This is crazy, and I cannot believe this is actually going to happen. But we are going to get characters based on Captain America, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and of course Thanos, Venom, and Black Widow. So we're going to get superheroes that wrestle. Jaxie, I don't know if this is going to be great or the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen.
What the fuck? I'm really sat here with a screwed up face because I've not even heard about that. And right now, I just feel like that's just going to be an epic flop. I'm really sorry, but you've just literally, you're putting that on Disney Plus after you've just released What If as well. And What If was actually good, you know?
We don't need crossovers. We don't need crossovers. Keep wrestling and wrestling. Keep Marvel and acting and movies separate from it. Please. Yeah. No.
I'm not feeling this. I'm not really. I don't know. It's not really. I'm not excited at the prospect of watching that. You know.
Well, it looks like a Marvel Lucha Libre Championship is expected to be introduced at a AAA taping in Acapulco. I want.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I hope they don't go loco down in Acapulco.
Acapulco.
Do now.
This is what happened. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get.
I must say, this reminds me of this battle royal you told me about in AAA one time, where they were dressed up as heroes or something. I think somebody got high or something, watched that, and was like, "Oh, it's an awesome idea." Let's do it.
Hulk smashing that wall was pretty cool.
Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about? See?
Yeah,
I knew I wasn't
I
tripping.
remember. No, yeah. Yeah, I remember watching Triple Mania. Yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens. It could be great. The disappointing thing for the kids watching is when the superheroes don't have any powers apart from a stunner. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I'm throwing down a hurricane.
I mean, what would be better is if you like do a crossover of wrestlers with anime characters or something. That would be even better. You could have Bobby Lashley as Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. I'm sorry, but that's him. That's seriously him. And if you don't know him, people Google Dragon Ball Super, Jiren, and then Bobby Lashley, and put them together and tell me the difference apart from the purple skin. Okay.
Honestly, and he's such a badass as well. So you can just imagine how like unstoppable Bobby Lashley would be as an actual anime character. But also, anime have like, all these is it more about fighting? So it'd be less like superheroes, more actually based on the fight scenes and stuff. So that would actually if they decided to do like a wrestling anime based on the wrestling characters, that would be cool, and I could understand that. But yeah, wrestling and Marvel, I don't get it. I'm not impressed.
I'd send your pitch to Disney Plus, because if they're doing the Marvel Mexican wrestlers, then I mean,
Thanos with a tope. Thanos tope suicida.
It's just there's Venom with a Hurricane Runner, and then we got Spider-Man. Yeah,
Black Widow coming in with butter.
Oh my god, if you guys do the commentary, I'm so here for it.
It's just, well, like we said, we'll move on because we have got Halloween Havoc, and like we said, it is the Halloween special. And on the old Halloween specials of Spooktaculars, we used to do the old Halloween Havoc, so it's really weird kind of doing an up-to-date one. So we are going to do it. What way to kick off then? We kick off that. But before I do that, let's have a conversation. Jaxie, you're going into this. When was the last time you watched an NXT event before Halloween Havoc?
Oh, damn.
That long.
Yeah. No, I know it was before NXT 2.0 came along.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Do you think it's been longer or shorter than how long Monty's been doing NXT Update? Do you think...
I can tell you that. I don't know. Are we talking about just NXT updates on this podcast, or are we also
within the last 2 years?
Last 2 years. Takeover 31. Have you watched the Takeover since then?
What's the most recent Takeover? I don't know.
There's been a few since, but so it's been a while. We're going to put that in perspective.
Just say
it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it's probably been a year at max, but I haven't caught up on it. So, yeah.
And of course, Gina, after we did the AEW show, you told me to help you out with NXT, so we kind of watched a couple and did the predictions, didn't we? So everything was fine.
Yeah, everything was a bloody guess from me, to be honest, because I think it's been even longer since I've watched NXT. But to be fair, WWE like to show clips of important bits on some of the main TV shows sometimes. So I do kind of catch wind of what happens, and I do have a workmate who really loves WWE, so she kind of tells me some stuff. It kind of goes in one ear and out the other, though. So I wasn't exactly clued in ahead of this this event.
That's a t-shirt.
Our competition.
Literally dubbing our podcast in one ear, out the other. That's
out the other. Yeah. Put it. Let's do it. Print it.
Print it. That's money. That's money there. But we're going to start off with a Halloween Havoc kickoff
That's
show.
my new slogan.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've got Mackenzie Mitchell. Welcome us. She's joined by Sam Roberts and David LaGreca. Yeah, me neither. We see backstage with the referees and tonight's host, Shotzi and Quincy Elliott, in the spin the wheel make the deal. He's given a spin by Shotzi and it lands on a casket match stipulation. Cruz loves the idea and asks Waller if he's ready to hold his breath. Cruz wishes a happy Halloween to Waller, then heads out. Waller looks nervous. We then see the main event combatants making their way to the building. We then get some footage from Fire challenging Rose to meet her at some sort of haunted trail. Rose is backstage with Gigi and Jane. She wants to fight Fire with Fire and go to this haunted trail. Gigi and Jane try to talk her out of it, but she's going to beat Fire down and drag her back to the ring. What a stupid idea. And that's basically it for kickoff. So, I mean, it weren't much about anything else. And then, of course, October 22nd, the main show, the premium live event, opens with horror icon Chucky. Well, that's what's written here anyway. And we see Shotzi and Quincy Elliott make their way. What was... can anybody help me? What was Quincy dressed as to begin with? Does anybody know? He had like a... I have no idea what his costume was.
No clue. No clue. Neither one, actually. What was the banana? I didn't get that one either.
He was a banana.
No.
I got that.
I didn't know. So he was just a banana. It wasn't anything else to that. Okay. So, yeah, never mind. No. Okay.
Come on.
I mean, I know that Shotzi was dressed as Beetlejuice at one point.
Times.
She started off with something else. What was it?
I'm not going to say it 3 times now.
Yeah, I know. It's tempting, isn't it? We don't want to do it.
Yeah. I'm now trying to bite my tongue.
But, yeah, we see Shotzi welcome us to the scariest night of the year. Halloween Havoc. Fans go wild, but your guys will know. NXT fans go wild for a lot of shit. We've got Vic Joseph joined by Booker T, and we've got the ladder match for the vacant NXT North American title. Starts off Carmella Hayes versus Zora Mensah, Wesley Von fucking Wagner, and Nathan Fraser. This high-energy, high-spot, heavy match was a fantastic one that may have set the bar impossibly high for the rest of the show. Fraser and Mensah showed up and showed out in their first opportunity to compete in a premium live event. Wagner was the unstoppable big man who fans did not want to win because he's a cunt. Is that too strong? I don't know, but I think Jaxie and Gina will be seeing what I'm really like on an update Monty here, so it's quite nice, you know.
That's a good point.
Mensah took an ugly bump off the ladder, barely clearing the top rope before the other competitors. That looked really, really bad. Von Wagner, don't know if anybody noticed, nearly took out the woman at ringside with the ladder. It must have been terrifying to see Von Wagner's length coming right in your face, Monty.
Everything about Von Wagner is terrifying.
Don't get me fucking started. Fraser delivered a frog splash from the top rope onto Wagner, driving him through a ladder that had been propped between the apron and guardrail. Lee wiped out Fraser at ringside and then later stopped selling to fix his hair. Wagner miraculously... Why? Don't. Lee recovered from being splashed through a fucking ladder and gorilla press slam Lee from the ring onto the commentary table at ringside. Of course, shades of Bam Bam. Monty thought he had it. At this point, with Lee out and Fraser on his way up, I can hear it, but no, because Fraser got taken out with really awkward kind of front-face knee bump, and then Lee leveled Hayes on a bridging ladder with Meteora, bounced out of the ring, bounced back in, and after a monster pop, your new NXT North American champion. Jaxie, what were your thoughts on this?
Right. Okay. First and foremost, I'm just going to actually put this out there to everyone now. Let's just confirm I was very drunk watching Halloween Havoc. So a lot of my notes are like drunken thoughts rather than actual legit notes. So I have to apologize because there's nothing actually like it's all just gibberish. But this opening match, first and foremost, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you now that the first note I have written at Halloween Havoc is that Gina betrayed me, and that is simply how I was feeling at the time. Because usually I have my sister in my ear either through PlayStation chat or just in our earphones through phone call, and we'll watch together. And she decided to go and have a shift of work that evening. And I felt utterly betrayed watching it by myself and drunk. So, yeah, that's the beginning of my...
I'm sorry, sis.
It's all right. It's just not the same
that dollar. I'm sorry, but it killed me and I didn't like it, so I'm never doing that again.
It's okay, don't worry. Just lend me $20 or something, innit?
Okay.
The thing is, you have to be under the influence to watch NXT. It's kind of like a rule me and Monty have had this past couple of years. But, you know...
I first and foremost wrote about the match, which was such a great opening match. It really set the bar way too high. I noted down that there was a badass moment by Wesley. All I've got is Wesley, badass moment, top rope. He's such a badass. I don't actually remember.
I think you mean, let me try and help. I think you mean when he was on top of the ladder and kind of crutched down. I think it was on Nathan Fraser and squashed him and rolled through with it.
Oh wait, yeah, I think that probably was it. But I just thought that. But yeah, I really did like this match. I felt like it was a really great way for someone like myself who's not who knows of NXT, not knows of every wrestler on that roster, to get a chance to kind of see these individuals. So all of them had some great standout moments. I'm pretty sure that there was a moment where like Wagner was getting like just ganged up on by everyone. Like Von Wagner was getting ganged up on by everyone, and I just thought to myself, God, they really are all trying to keep him down. He's like a beast. Kind of reminded me of when they're all trying to put down Braun Strowman in the ladder match. I can't remember which pay-per-view it was that they did that, but I've just got like it was like a Braun Strowman moment written down as well, in terms of them trying to keep him down, keep Von Wagner down. But I was really happy with the outcome as well, that Wesley won.
Well, let's play a game of keep 4, release 1 in this matchup. And I would say, Jackson, if you had to release one wrestler out of these, who would you do?
That's not fair because I don't really know all these wrestlers
yeah, but
that
come
well.
on, just pick Von Wagner and we can move on. Like,
I still stand on it.
Okay,
Oh,
and
I liked Vaughn. I liked
Vaughn is
Wagner.
vanilla.
Oh no! Oh my god!
what's wrong with you two? Wow.
My heart cringed when she said Braun Strowman in the same sentence as Von.
He's gonna put that on his CV.
Right? Von Wagner.
I wasn't comparing him to Braun Strowman. I was just
No,
saying.
you just mentioned him. All you gotta do is mention him in the same sentence as anybody worth anything. It is a problem. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't know that was going to affect you. I'm sorry.
I wrote it down.
Anyone
but Wagner.
We need a heads up.
I wrote down anyone but Wagner. Anyone but Wagner.
Either way, I because he was my pick for the night as well, so he didn't win. So I already knew I was fucked.
Yeah, but I thought you did it to spite me, so I'm glad it wasn't.
That's a good point. I forgot she picked him. Oh my god. Yeah. That's how I know you guys. This is your first time being here for an NXT review because we kill Wagner all the time.
Oh my god!
All the time.
We're disappointing Daddy Monty. We are disappointing him horribly.
It's a really great way to put it. I am disappointed.
Well, Mello don't miss though, and Aura had arrived in this match. I was so happy. You mentioned it, Jax, as well. So happy for Wesley. Even if this is his peak in WWE, he can go back to the Radicals on the the Impact circuit as it was. He did deserve this, and I don't know about any of you, but I think everybody was willing to bump like it was TLC 1. I mean, even Robert Stein jump off a ladder. Pushed. But it just seems that everybody in this match just wanted to make it as good as possible. And again, I thought it was really, really good. Jackson, what would you score out of 5?
I mean, again, I thought this was a great match, so I'll give it a 5.
Monty, what about you?
Yeah, man, I thought it was really good. Like you guys said, the spots were great. And all of that, I may have had a problem with, but this is a modern day ladder match. They're not going to go for the belt as much as they should. I was annoyed that the managers went for them before most of the rest of the wrestlers even went for the belts in the match. But that's just modern day tag matches. It's fine. I mean, ladder matches, so that's fine. Anyway, though, like you said, full of great moments. The execution of the finish was pretty good too. I regretted not picking Wesley immediately after I picked Frazier. You knew that.
Yep.
But because I definitely overthought this situation. Yep. But this was correct. Like, I have no problem with it. This was the correct result. And I knew it. Like, I knew Frazier was going to do something to screw it up. So, like, it was fine, James. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
No, I kept as quiet as possible when you chose. I'm not going to lie. What did you score out?
No, you knew it. You said Wesley so fast after that. You knew it.
I knew. I kept like, what did we say, mate? What are you saying? And I was like, oh, you going that? Wesley, done. What would you score that out of 5? I didn't catch it, sorry.
4.5. Stop.
4.5. And Gina, what about you?
Well, I was very unbiased in this match because, again, I don't really know most of them that were in there. And I'd heard of some of them, but I'd never really watched their matches. So for me, this was a great match. It was lit, and I got excited watching it. So I'll give it a 5. Was
there anybody here you were particularly impressed with? Because like I said, it's your jumping off point for not really knowing. Was anybody match? Oh, you know what? That's a guy I wouldn't mind seeing in the future.
I mean, I did really like Wesley, and not just because I chose him. I think I only chose him because he was the main one that I actually recognized because he used to be a part of a tag team. That much I do remember. But I liked them all. So, and I'm not gonna just choose one because Monty won't like the answer.
He'd be like, yeah, he gets aggressive. He does get aggressive. You what?
He'll be like,
what
get off my podcast. Get the fuck off of my podcast right now.
It's not that serious, believe it or not. It's not that serious.
We've started strong with Von Wagner, so we'll see what happens as we go along. I'm going to give it 4 3/4 out of 5. Like I said, very, very good stuff. Poll-wise, well, Von fucking Wagner and Nathan Fraser got the same, 12.5%. Carmelo Hayes at 25%, but Wesley with the percent there. Prediction leagues. Well, the prediction leagues for Havoc, of course, W Pay-Per-View League. James is 4, Gina on 5, Monty and Jaxie tied on 6 with just 2 more shows to go. The AEW Prediction League, Monty and Gina on 1, Jaxie on 2, I'm on 3, of course with 1 AEW Pay-Per left. And the bonus league, Gina and Jaxie on 6, Monty on 7, I am on 11, so a little bit of breathing room. Prediction-wise, Jaxie did go for Wagner. James and Gina went Wesley. Monty went Nathan Fraser. So the scores are James and Gina 1, Jaxie and Monty 0. We go back in the ring and see a group of druids come out with a casket for Grayson Waller and Apollo Crews. I bet one of the druids is Hank. What do you reckon, Hank's got to be one of them, innit? You know what I mean? I was trying to look and think.
I guarantee it.
If he's not, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
Who's Hank?
Exactly. I'll be genuinely shocked. Exactly.
Who's Hank?
Who is Hank? Now, Hank is a security guard who is now a wrestler.
Yeah, but in real serious.
Wait, which was he on Halloween Havoc?
He was a druid.
I didn't remember a Hank.
No, he probably was a druid though, but no, he wasn't visually there that we know of. But I'm pretty sure we're pretty sure he was a druid.
It's a deep cut for our update fans.
So many inside jokes. I didn't realize we had them.
I didn't realise as well. Well, we see Toxic Attraction arriving to the haunted house. Mandy tells her not to be so dramatic. Jane says she's staying in the car after what happened on Tuesday. Dawn is ready to go. And they managed to all go out with their flashlights. They encounter a few spooky characters for coming to a haunted house, which we've seen before. Jane wants to go back in the car, but Rose and Dolan tell her to come. They want to split up, which is just a terrible... Look, if we ever go anywhere as a group, let's never split up. Right? Even if it's like haunted house, where the fuck it is, it just never works out. It's a silly idea. Anyway, Jane is eventually attacked because they split up, and her screams are heard by Dolan, another part of the house. She encounters Chucky and a few others dressed in horror costumes. Fire catches her and slams her into the stove, beats Dolan up, and chucks her into a refrigerator. We get Fire finally catching up with Rose, swinging a baseball bat. Probably not the best introduction for people that haven't watched NXT in a long time. Fire fights Rose, takes controls. Another spooky character yells at Rose and stops her. Fire tosses Rose into the car and drives away. Monty Load. It has been done before, Spooky House. And
better, by the way.
I didn't want to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, because that's what I wrote. I was like, please give me Dexter Lewis and Cameron Grimes over whatever this was. Even though they acted great, though. I give them props. They did their best. They acted their asses off. I thought they were really seemed to be into it, but it wasn't. Yeah, no, I didn't like this one by comparison to the original. It was obviously very similar, though.
Yeah, without that. Well, here's hoping the next match can be better. Could it spin the wheel, make the deal? It's a casket match between Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller. Of course, this comes to the head, which leaned a little too heavily into the theatrics.
My God.
Waller goes to the top and nails his flying elbow. Waller sits up like the Undertaker and laughs. Crews does the same and shakes his head at Waller and gets booed. Waller grabbed Vic Joseph's pen for the commentary table and used it to stab Apollo's eye. Crews bumped hard from the ropes through the lid of the casket, only to appear outside of it after about a 5-minute light out period. He didn't even wipe the casket off his back. Why wasn't he in the other casket? It doesn't make any sense. The jurors did bring him. Crews attempted to throw ring steps at the prone Waller, who escaped. He, with a splash from the casket to Waller on the floor. Then Waller hit him with a stunner. Crews cut his throat like the Undertaker, as fans boo. They trade tombstone pile driver attempts and Crews counters. He then puts Waller in a casket, but the lid can't close. It's now after he delivered a spine buster for the win. Gina, good luck. How can you even... What the fuck was this?
I mean, I definitely think I used a toilet break excuse with this one.
Good job. You
I
timed that one well.
The match. The thing is, I wasn't mad at seeing Apollo Crews, but I also was confused because I didn't know Crews had gone back to NXT. Again, I'm not up to date with what's been happening, so I just thought, Apollo Crews was cooking backstage for people at SmackDown still, rather than being on NXT. So I was actually shocked when I saw the match card that this was happening.
He used to be with General Aziz. That's the last thing I heard about him. So, my first question was, I put in my drunken notes, where's the bodyguard? Which obviously now I know is General Aziz. Obviously, I think I was a bit too drunk at the time, so I just put, where's the bodyguard? I also then asked, where has his Nigerian accent gone? Where's Triple H? What I put as my notes. So I think I was expecting Triple H to call him out.
Well,
that's why you said, where's Triple H?
When
Apollo
can now interpret other people. What is it that he has? Is it visions he has of the future and bleeds from the eye? Is that the main things he's got now? I don't want to.
That's pretty much what I know.
Wait, he's a prophet now.
Well,
no, yeah, he's a prophet. He got little visions that help him see the future. Very, very. By the way, it only shows him like a little bit of the future. It's never the good power. It don't show you the whole future or anything.
Well,
but anyway,
5 seconds in the future. That's what you see.
I mean, I think it's far. Sometimes it's far.
Yeah, couple of weeks.
But yeah, like for example, the Diamond Mine just got attacked randomly. Oh, later that night, Gallus came out and attacked them or something, stuff like that. But also, what we learned in this match, he has some type of goddamn connection to the Undertaker's druid. First of all, I thought they retired when Undertaker retired. I was like, why? How is he able to? He can teleport now. So yes, Apollo Crews. I wrote it in my notes. He should never lose again. He can see the future. He can teleport. If he don't win this match, or if he don't win every match going forward, like what the hell are you doing with it? Oh, they're just so desperate. They needed a character for him, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about this guy. I really don't.
This wasn't the best way to go about giving him a new character. This was definitely not the right way.
Well, the thing is that my notes, I know you got drunk notes, Jaxie, but mine, I must have been so bored. I put fourth casket match, not Taker. Other three, Midian Vista versus Triple H, Kane v Triple H, Kane v Bryan. Last casket match was Taker versus Rusev. in Saudi Arabia. Undertaker's a 12-4 record at caskets. I wrote nothing about the match. I was just
nothing about that. See, that's so
Undertaker.
weird anyway.
Yeah, I'm a huge Taker fan, so.
and there's me in my notes where the bodyguard was.
It's just, I don't know. I really don't know how to score that, but we're going to try. Gina, what would you give that out of 5?
2.
Oh, ooh, Bruno Tamioni. No, Monty, what about you?
Booker T said it best during the match. What the hell going on? I'm giving it a 3.
Jaxie?
I'll give it a 2.5, and the 0.5 is mainly because Apollo Crews won, and I haven't seen him win a match in WWE in God knows how long, so fair play to him. I'll give him that. Like Monty said, I don't think he should lose for a while. He needs to just go on a winning streak or something.
Yeah. Well, it's when his brother shows up next week in a cane mask. They start feuding.
Yeah. Make it make sense. Buried alive and stand and deliver.
He doesn't come out with a pallbearer type character with him, then I'm not having it.
I'm saying it's terrible. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, because you know what I'm like. Baby blue must be the new colour backstage because Wesley, Aura, and Apollo Crews had it. So,
yeah, there was something going on.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Out of 5, I got a 3. I cannot believe we get 3. Polls, Crews, 86%. Predictions, we all went Crews. So the scores are James and Gina on 2, Jaxie and Monty on 1. We get a new Chase You segment. Monty, you're going to have to explain this as well.
No, I can't explain it. That was bad.
Duke Hudson's a new transfer student, and Bodie Hayward hates transfer students. But I don't like Bodie because he didn't realise that the Outsiders actually beat Harlem Heat to win the tag titles at Halloween Havoc 96.
Yeah.
And looks like there's going to be a match. Well, I mean, what is this? What happened? What happened to Charlie?
I
Dempsey?
don't know.
Where's Dempsey?
Yeah, good point. What the hell happened? Yeah, man. I don't. Please, anything but this. I don't. They couldn't set up that match any better. Well, let's just go.
Bit of good news. NXT Tag Champions Pretty Deadly are backstage with Mackenzie now. Yes, boy. Yeah. Side plate check. And they're not worried about their match. And then we see Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, of course, the women's tag team champions, being told basically, look, you're not important enough for a premium live event match, so we're going to do it cheap. That's because who wants proper titles on the line? We want casket and ambulance matches. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Good point.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Weapons Wild match. Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. Perez brought a skateboard with her to the ring. A callback to Jade's shocking betrayal of her a month ago. It would have been better callback if it was a broken skateboard because obviously it broke before she hit her. But anyway, Perez then pushed the skateboard with Jade lay on it, sending her to the floor. Jade cut off her opponent's momentum with some sort of spray to the eyes. What is that? Bug spray? Why would they keep that under the ring? I don't know, Vic, but you know, if it's like the commentators when they smell something. Is that I can smell? Is that arsenic? How would you know, Joe?
Ether.
Ether. That's it. Sorry, ether.
Oh yeah, the ether. You can smell it all the way from here, Jay.
50 foot away. But then again, I will never get bored of the old trash can over the head routine. I just find it hilarious. It really, really is. Jade applied a camel clutch with assistance of the rope to the floor. The babyface fought back, attacking her with appropriate intensity. Jade tried to run, but the combatants fought through the crowd before arriving on an elevated platform. Perez momentarily hesitated to punch Jade before both women took a plunge off the platform through a table. And the finish saw the babyface answer her foe's taunt off, "I was never your friend," by back body dropping onto a bed of chairs. Pop Rocks earned the Prodigy the win. Jaxie, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so, I mean, from the drunken notes I had, I put each wrestler chose violence. I'm here for it. So, I liked this match. I hadn't seen much of either wrestler before this, apart from sort of their appearance on was it both Raw and SmackDown that they both turned up on like a week before. I did check out the matches that they had, kind of coming off of their appearance on NXT the night on the Tuesday before, and I actually think both these women have a lot of talent and have potential to kind of do very well in this wrestling business. I do think that the match went pretty hard for what I expected when I first saw them coming out. There were some pretty hard hitting moments, as well as some great sort of like individual moments from both women. They both went hard. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was great. Look, I'm gonna go off on one here, but I mean, I can say these two will be the future, and dare I say it, be the new horsewomen, or at least take some of the shine off of them. When you think Roxanne Perez is only 20, Cora Jade is 21, this is crazy, I liked the attires of both as well, the contrast of perceived good and evil. And another thing I really, really liked about it as well is, this is kind of the thing I love about developmental, is watching these two, and they tried to give each other the best match possible. There was no egos, nothing else, just trying to help their careers grow. You can see how much they cared for each other on that table bump as well. Cora made sure Rox was all right.
Yeah, but do you know what? I'm not even mad at sort of us as the audience catching that, because that was a pretty risky move for both women. And just to see that little bit of sportsmanship between them after taking a bump that size, especially because they're both quite short women. So, it's nice to see that, they could have this intense of a match with a lot of intensity when it comes to the emotions involved in it, and yet still be looking out for one another.
Yeah, I think without doubt, the DIY of the women's division. I know, Monty, that's a big statement, but I really, really like this. Look, Tony, it's easy. 2 women's matches on a 6-card show. See how we can do that as well. It's simple. But like I said, out of 5,
can't help yourself.
I can't. I really can't. Jaxie, what would you score this out of 5?
I think both of these women went hard, and considering I didn't know them very well before as wrestlers before this, I thought they both went pretty hard. So I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Monty, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. This is a personal feud. And by the way, I want to mention, I love Booker T commentary on Roxy's matches, because he trained her. And he made a couple of good points during the match about like even the differences between Cora and Roxy's background, like how they were coming up. Like I didn't train her like the way since Cora kind of came up in a more hardcore style. Got her start doing like a couple of death matches at least that I know about, or at least one I know. But anyway, besides that, Booker T was pointing out that he didn't train Roxy like that, and like he was obviously rooting for her. So it was just kind of, I don't know, it gave it a nice touch. But like you said, the fact that it was still compassion shown in the match with the big bump and with the finish, and her kind of still winning in her own way. I thought Roxy looked great here, and even like you said, Cora Jade played a great role of helping her along the way to tell this story too. I thought they both worked hard. I gave it 4 stars.
One thing I will say about to Cora Jade, if you're going to do the chair spot, make sure the chair's the right way up, because the way you had the chair and you landed it looked fucking awful. Just like, face down. Again, I don't fall on chairs, but it looked better to do it the other way. Gina, what about you out of 5?
Yeah.
I gave it 4.25. It was a good match, and I agree with all of your points. I liked how the girls kept a check on each other, and they did go hard for each other, like making sure that they gave each other the best match, and you can't help but have respect for that. So yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, I gave it 4.5 there. Cora Jade got 56% of the vote. Predictions: well, Jaxie went Cora, the rest went Rox. So it means the scores at the moment are James and Gina on 3, Monty on 2, Jaxie on 1. We then saw Chucky watching Ilya Dragunov skip, which I would have thought probably the weirdest thing I've seen this week. We then go back to the ring, and out comes Halloween Havoc host Shotzi in a tank, dressed up as Beetlejuice. I'm not going to say it more than once. And we see, she tells us it's the most terrifying night of the year. Talking about ladders, caskets, and a haunted house. Oh my. And then brings up her co-host Quincy, who, as Monty mentions, is dressed as a banana. But I've got to mention it. It's been digging in me. The head is a banana. What's the body? Because it's two bananas.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
It's
curious.
I mean,
just curious.
I can remember that whole section was I wrote a note here that said, "Why has a Kardashian come out to interrupt Quincy Elliott? What the fuck?"
Ah.
I don't know who I'm on
let
about.
Let me just quickly comment about the outfit. I mean, I was really confused. It was either like he couldn't be bothered to find a second outfit, so he just shoved on what was in the prop box backstage. But if you were planning to co-host this, then surely you would have had like an ideal like outfit in mind. I was so confused by the outfit choice.
That's just, I mean, just like, has he ever seen a banana? Has he actually seen a banana? Like, does he know how it works?
Well,
like, I just...
To be Halloween.
Well, no, I'm over it now. but like you said, we wondered who... I wondered who the...
Who's that?
Well, the Kardashian is segment killer / legend.
Come on, man.
Coming out morning, Quincy. Shotzi loves Quincy and is a scream queen. She can handle this. And Dex Lash drops her with a DDT. And they stand over Lash, taunting her, rightly so. Lash Legend is the... She is the Von of the women's division.
She's trained by Bianca, you know. Yay. In the you know, she has a background with Bianca, so that's a positive, right? Great athlete. She's tall.
Plays basketball.
That's what I
really
say about Von Wagner. He's tall. He's tall.
But I just hear some pain in Monty's voice trying to find.
I'm trying.
Nice.
I'm trying.
I can hear it, Monty.
I'm so defeated.
Well,
cut this segment out of the show, by the way, James. It was so unnecessary. I know we got a match late out of it, like for the next show, but screw this. We didn't need to do this. It could have did it Tuesday.
Full review we are doing. We see Alpha Fire, Ryder and Mandy Road tied up in the car on their way to the arena. The Schism is backstage with a mysterious person in the mask and red hoodie. The person opened their heart to the Schism, proved worthy. Now they remove their mask on Tuesday. They say there are 4 roots to one tree. We'll cut that fucker down. We get a video next month. Next match, ambulance match, Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp. Damon Kemp is out first to booze, and he's carrying the same steel chair he beat Brutus Creed down with weeks back.
Sure.
Of course, Julius Creed comes out. It's exactly the same one, Monty. What are you trying to say? Julius Creed defends his brother's honours by throwing pumpkins. Throw some more. But Kemp blocking them with chair swings. The fans were chanting, "Use the pumpkins." And you can tell just how popular they were. Kemp wisely fended off defeat by using the same crutch he brought to the ring with him to prevent Creed from closing the ambulance door. It's the same one, all right? Creed kicked the ambulance door back in Kemp's face. Kemp delivered a Uranagi on the ring steps. Creed trapped Kemp in a wheelchair. I say trapped. And sent him head first. Do you know what? Kemp actually did quite well there, selling it. The babyface risked his well-being, sacrificing his hand to prevent the ambulance door from closing, and of course ending his brother's career. Creed wore Kemp out with the same steel chair that the Hill used to brutalise Brutus, beating him in the body 10 times with a weapon. He added a powerbomb on a stretcher for good measure, stuffed an emergency vehicle, and scored the biggest win of his young career. Monty, this could have been awful.
Yeah, That's a good point. It could have went bad. It could have been worse. Definitely, it could have went bad because this doesn't really suit neither guys. Like we don't really know much about Kemp's style, but he's an amateur wrestler. Them in this stipulation. This is our first time. Besides, I guess a couple of stipulation matches in the tag division for Julius. This is our first time really getting a chance to see this, and this is the first time for Kemp in this spotlight for a match this long. So, yeah, man, like you said, it could have been way worse than it actually ended up being, but it ended up being a fight from the beginning, which was fitting, especially with the stakes attached and everything about going on with Brutus. And I thought Kemp, like you said, had moments where he did great selling, and he also had some moments where he looked fine. Neither guy looked out of place to me. My favorite moment, really, besides when, like you said, Julius's final flurry to finish him off, was when they just said F it and started throwing shit at each other. But it dragged for me at times, but it still ended up having more fun than it wasn't. So I gave it 3 3/4.
Yeah, like I said, I gave it the same score actually. The fans near the ambulance,
they loved it.
Oh my god, it was almost like they were planted to the spot in excitement.
You don't say.
No, I can believe it. It was Hank. Hank was in there. Did everybody see Hank? In a mask, that's what it was. 2 amateur wrestlers having a hardcore match. Kind of worked out, I suppose. Damon did well. Julius, as we know, already has it and will need to develop character. Jackson, what would you score that match out of 5?
Yeah, I actually didn't have much written down for this one, so this is quite a disappointing one. I just put next to Damon Kemp's name, dude, shady as fuck. I don't know why. I really don't know why I wrote that.
Gina, do you think Damon Kemp's shady? Do you think that's fair for Jackson to say?
Yeah, I'm going with my drunken sister's notes here. He's shady as well.
Yeah. I mean, I do speak the
Great
truth.
heel work, Damon.
I don't know how it is when I'm drunk, so I clearly meant it. I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, 3. Gina, what would you score that out of 5?
I mean, I gave it a 3.5. I'm sorry, but it was better than the Apollo Crews match, so I give it a 3.5.
No, that's an excellent
that's true.
point. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Poll-wise, Creed, 80% of the vote predictions. Monty and James went for Julius. Jackson and Gina went for Kemp.
It truly is a spooky Halloween one. That's the 3rd time. That's the 3rd time. 3 times the charm. It's the Halloween karma thing. I'm telling you now.
I want it to kill me. Kill me! Kill me!
I don't recommend being possessed over this.
Maybe you should keep this part in there. Add to the spooky special effect.
I don't know what just happened there. It was weird.
Please don't start kissing yourself.
You're better now. So predictions: Monty and James went Julius, Jackson and Gina went Kemp, which means the scores: James is on 4, Gina, Monty on 3, Jaxie on 1. And then we see the ambulance driving away with the sirens on. Obviously, they're going to the hospital. The toxic attraction with the SUV pulls up with Alva Fire driving. She kicks Mandy Rose out and starts beating around the parking lot. That poor parking lot, you know. Rose fights back, retreats into the front door. Farmer Alona Rose making their way to the ring for the NXT Women's title. Alva Fire versus Mandy Rose. And Rose weather the storm. Down and arrival, working over throughout the heart of the match, just as Fire mounted the comeback and appeared to have the match won via Swanton Bomb. Gigi and JC appeared, pulling the referee out of the ring. More shenanigans gave way to Rose securing the win and the continuation of historic reign as champion. But Gina, I've got to ask, how the fuck did Alba lose this? Like, she was beating the shit out of all of them. And how the fuck have they, as Dolan and Jane, got Cruz's, like, transporting ability? Because how the fuck
they teleported too.
Like, how did they, you know what I mean? So what happened?
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I kind of forgot this match was still ongoing because of the opening segment. I kind of thought it had happened already. So yeah, I was a little bit confused. Like, this match is still happening. So once I gathered that it actually hadn't even really truly started, like in the match or in the ring.
Sis, so drunken Jaxie's notes say here. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Was that in general?
Yeah.
I think by this point you got to think she'd had more drinks.
Yeah. I completely forgot that it was
She
still
probably
going on.
thought the show started again, seeing Mandy and Gigi.
Probably. Do you know what? I also have written down here, how is it only the dark-haired one is speaking sense and she's also the one that gets taken out first? Why is it the smart ones always get taken first?
It's the truth, because the killers like to leave, the dumb ones alive, so they can't think of a way to get away from them. So that's why. But no, I mean, the match was okay. It wasn't like awful.
No, but I think also agree with James on this. Like, how the fuck did Alba lose? She was like bossing it.
She beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, they're just going to go with the numbers game here, aren't they?
No, but the thing
is, they were in a house. Like, how did that stop them?
Everything on her side. So I just don't understand how the fuck she lost. Like, to be honest, I'm quite sour about this one. She was my pick to win, but I'm more sour because to me the outcome was easily should have gone in her favor. So yeah.
Okay, I totally get you there.
We had a cool look from Fire. I think she will be hearing from Thunder Rosa's lawyers, though. But the annoying thing for me is that they built up Alba Fire just to McIntyre her, just to McIntyre.
And then they did it. They did it in the same way they've done it to pretty much everybody. Man, it's fault too. Like, it wasn't even like I thought the whole point of all of the like you said, the kidnapping and all of that type of stuff was to separate it so it can be just Mandy and her one-on-one, and they were going to just fight. And if she lost, she just lost like that. Or like they did the other week with Sonya Deville playing a factor. I thought maybe that would make more sense than teleporting the rest of Toxic Attraction there, man. Like you just said. And like that finish is so overdone anyway when it comes to the numbers game. So again, I'm just like you guys. I picked Mandy. And like I said, you either got to look at it either one way. I picked Mandy Either Alba was definitely supposed to win this, or Mandy and her crew is just the strongest people ever. Because she got beat the entire night and still was able to win this match in less than 10 minutes, it felt like. So,
this was the shortest match on the card. And the thing that annoyed me is, obviously, I know Jackson Jr. watching this, and it wasn't a true representation of what the division can do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got the Rocks and Cora match, but again, it was just like, what? For me, it was just like, bring back Miko and have a wipe out the fucking division and start again now, because I'm sick of it, It's just like, there is something wrong here. And again, Rose, there's a really cool moment in the haunted house where she kicked the guy in the bollocks, and so I put some respect to my name.
Respect my name.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, but not this. This is not on. So, anyway, for scores, Gina, what out of 5?
A 3 3/4.
Monty?
I gave it 3.5.
And then we've got Jaxie. What are you going to score it?
Yeah, I gave this a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3 1/4, so it had every mark along the freezer, which should tell you something. Rose got 57% predictions. Jaxie went for Fire. The rest went Rose. I'm noticing a trend here in your predictions, Jaxie. I'm not saying anything, but like at this moment in time, the scores are.
What? Wait, what have you noticed? Because I certainly didn't notice. Like my. I chose at random.
Yeah, no, but I'm just seeing yours look really different to the other threes. That's all I'm saying. That's little.
I'm James.
And no. nope. I'm going to save it to later. But at this moment,
On that.
at this moment, I'm on 5. Monty Jr. on 4. Jaxie's on 1. We'll see what happens. We get Mackenzie Mitchell backstage.
Let's just. Jaxie stays on 1, okay? Let's just get that out the way right
I didn't
fucking
say
now.
it. I didn't fucking say it. I didn't say it.
Jaxie is staying on 1. I'm going to say it now just so that you don't have to rub it into me much later down the line.
I will rub in, sir. I will if you. We'll see. You might get back in it.
Jane, stop picking on my sister. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Only I can pick on my sister.
That's true. It's true.
No, just super sulking about this. This is my lowest score ever.
Well, anyway, we get Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons backstage. You perverts. And her main focus.
Nice
first...
bodysuit.
It's just...
It's like the only point, right? They did this segment, right?
They did, of course. Everybody perverts. And then we get Mallet Blade and Idris Nofi. They want their titles as well. And then we get a video package for tonight's main event. A triple threat for the, I'm going to call it the unified NXT title, even though no one's mentioned it since Worlds Collide. Do it. I'm going to do it because me, Dragunov, and Jordan Devlin, or JD McDonald's as he's known, and Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker fight for the NXT title.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was that guy. I was going to say, wasn't the guy in the final match the one who was feuding with Finn Balor? But then I didn't recognize his name.
I've got in my notes, it's the devil guy. But I think I meant Devlin.
Devil guy.
Yeah, I think I meant Devlin. Like, I knew his name was like something like that along the lines. Obviously, drunk Jaxie just clearly went and said the devil, but that's what I meant. Makes sense now.
It's
yeah, no, I'm glad you said that.
It is the real life bobblehead, Jordan Devlin. Yes, he is in action in this main event.
Yeah.
We see Bron Breakker walk through the graveyard of tombstones. We have the names of his opponents as he stands tall with a large shovel. Otherwise, he'd be Bron Breakker. And that doesn't make any sense,
right?
For a name,
yes, he has to break something, right? You know, just to hammer it home.
Talking about hammer on, I think he hit the first one too hard. Like that went flying. We saw the plastic.
It disappeared.
Even Bron was like, "Fuck me, I don't know what happened." Well, we see Breakker and Dragunov focus their attention on JD early, but JD did take control of Ia and Bron until the champ got back in. Breakker launched JD with an overhead suplex straight out of his father's Rick's playbook. Dragunov threw caution to the wind and executed the Van Terminator with a coast to coast. JD whilst Ia and Bron battered each other. I actually laughed at that, and he didn't laugh though when the babyface started teeing off on him, delivering hard shots with the official warning to get your fists up. Dragunov unleashed late, chopping away at both men in a really cool trio spot. Breakker hit a Frankensteiner on JD straight into Ia, who powerbombed him. Then Breakker delivered a German suplex. Dragunov, who in turn delivered a Reese overhead suplex to McDonald. A great, I say a grateful minute. Saw JD nearly steal the win from Bron after Bron had hit his finisher, and then it broke my fucking heart. As man, you know what I'm talking about. I mocked you earlier, Monty. This was my moment. Ia had it won.
Revenge.
I know. And Breakker stopped the near fall. Cunt.
Let's go, JD.
That made me sick. The finish saw Breakker overcome the Russian with the spear. With all JD could do was watch on from the floor to make one last save. So Bron retains the title. Jaxie, I'll get your thoughts on the match in a minute. But Monty, I just want to ask you a quick question. I cannot believe they pinned Leah over JD. It shows that there's something else going, isn't there?
That's the one thing I couldn't get. I was like, I can't believe they put Ilya in here to take the pin. I thought it was going to be for JD to take the pin. But if you look at...
I figured JD was in the match just to take this pin, so I agree, Monty.
But the way they booked him in this match, JD might be your next champion.
That's
Like
what I'm
he
saying.
dodged the
Serious.
bullets. Like JD was the MVP in this match, man. I was like, he was killing it to me for some reason. But yeah, I agree. I couldn't believe that, James. I couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable. So Jaxie, what did you think of the main event for NXT Halloween Havoc?
I think the main event was a great triple threat. It was really enjoyable watching throughout it the whole time. I really didn't know who was going to win. But again, I have to agree with all of you. I can't believe that Dragunov got pinned. I have seen a couple of his matches before, and he's a badass. He was my choice to win tonight. It could have gone either way, but I just didn't see him being the one to take the pin if he lost, So it was a bit of a shock to see him actually be the one to get pinned, and kind of overall a disappointing night for me in terms of some of my guesses. It just goes to show you that when I don't watch NXT, it's harder to call the matches sometimes.
Oh, without a chat. Sometimes. But then again, you have won, like I said, NXT predictions this year. So, like I said, it shows sometimes it can. It just the choices. Yeah, been really unlucky. Again, I know I'm laughing, but to get it that consistently wrong.
I'm kind of really glad that I was drunk for watching most of it, because of I didn't really kind of gather the fact that I lost majorly and embarrassingly until the next day.
No,
so at least I didn't.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's not embarrassingly because you don't watch NXT. That the point of it is to see if someone who doesn't watch product can, beat someone who's supposed expert. It would be embarrassing if that happened. What happened to me in the main event is embarrassing, and I'll get onto that in a minute with the predictions. Monty knows exactly what I'm talking about. As for the match, as for the match itself, I didn't appreciate the Chuck adverts during Jordan Devlin's entrance. No, all the Halloween ones on Jay's. It felt like an NXT as opposed to a premium live event. But Ia, he is so fucking visceral. I love Ia Dragon. And especially what pissed me off was when he come, I couldn't defend my NXT UK title, Wells Collide, and I'm going to defend the honour of NXT UK. And much like Tyler Bate, we got fucked.
They just buried it.
Yeah,
screw NXT UK.
Breaker.
Probably one of the best. And then, you have him take the pin. It just feels like a slap in the face to the UK.
Oh, yeah, they're fucking me big time. But Breaker hung with NXT UK's best and beaten them all. For me, and Monty, I don't know how you felt, this felt like a classic takeover main event. I cannot remember the last time we had a main event that delivered on so many levels. Perfect training and learning for Bron. Bron will be a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong, all three were sensational.
I agree.
But, this was just great.
And like we talked when we watched his table for three, the people he's been working with, the Zigglers, like you throw the Gacy stuff out, everyone he's been working with when it comes to Ciampa, Ziggler, and now these guys, Tyler Bate, these are pros, people who've been doing this a long time, who's really helping him develop along a lot faster than maybe anyone could expect, even though he was already naturally just pretty good, just really good. So you could tell he was just meant for this. But like you said, this was incredible, man. And I mentioned JD looking like the MVP earlier. It was mostly because of his timing. He was just he looked smarter than the baby faces for most of the match. And like I said, the way he ended up looking by the end, by just not being too weak to interrupt the pin there at the end, I'm like, wow, they are really high on JD, higher than I thought. And I know they say Sean really likes JD, but again, I don't know, watch out. He could sneak and win this belt at some point. But just like you said, fantastic triple threat. All three guys look like they had it won at time. I even wrote here, I'm sorry, James, because JD stopped the ref hand. It wasn't even a kick out. He did kick out. So, you just know he won. They wanted to make it as painful as possible for you, James. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I get it because I thought I lost. I was like, yep, it's over. Can't believe it. But then, nope. JD saved me. And I don't know, man. I took the safe route with my predictions, but, I couldn't. Of course, I couldn't be happier with how things turned out.
Good for you. So, score. Jaxie, what would you score the main event of Halloween Havoc?
I'll give it like a 3 3/4.
What, the main event? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be that guy. Sorry, my bad.
See what alcohol does to the
Rewatch it. Rewatch it. Monty, what about you?
I give it 4 3/4. It was. No, I liked it. I really love this match. Obviously, I'm a little biased because you'll explain why in a second. But I really like this. I love triple threat matches anyway, so I'm biased in that retrospect too. But yeah, this is great.
And Gina, what would you score out of 5?
I mean, I was really surprised by this match because, again, I didn't know the JD guy. I knew the other two. But then I did recognize him. So again, it makes sense now that you've mentioned it. It was Jordan Devlin. So yeah, for me, all three of them smashed it. I feel like that in my head, Jordan Devlin was there to be sort of the one who's pinned. And for me, I agree with Monty. He was like the standout star. There were so many different spots where he just completely smashed it. And I was just shocked, like from beginning to end, because I wasn't expecting to be as into the match as I was. So I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was really high on this, so I actually gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought, like I said, a classic NXT.
Not me being a
Sorry,
with my score.
No,
I'm definitely being
No,
a user with my. It mainly is because I just overly lost in shit, but I really should actually score it better because I feel a little bit bitter. So I'm gonna give it a 4.25. Okay.
No, that's fine. No, look. I gave it a 5, even though it should have been a 2 from me, because what happened to me is unbelievable. But first, poll-wise, JD and Bron both on 14.3. Ilya was the favourite on 72%. The predictions, we did this on the update, and Monty, look, if I had the clip now, I'd play it. But it literally word of going, I know Bron's going to win, but that's my head. I'm going to go with my heart for
Yes, you did.
And you didn't stop me. And you asked me why
No.
I said Wesley so quickly.
I was just about to say, you didn't stop me. Every man for himself. Yes, baby. Come on, read it off, James. Come on, don't make me wait. Don't make me wait.
So literally, what could have been a perfect score, that was 2 points. Not only would I've got the point for the win, but called 6 out of 6 with a bonus. So instead of that, I snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Well, at least we tied because predictions, Monty and Gina went Bron.
Yeah, we're tied.
Jackson and James went Ilya. So the final scores, Jackson won, but James, Monty and Gina are on 5. What this means is we all get a point, but Jaxie. So, I mean, if anything's going to piss him off, it's that.
Yeah.
So, what it means...
She's speechless.
She's not going to comment.
Okay.
No comment.
The thing is, I could have had 2 points, so fuck you, Bron. All right? I'm going to get out there with that.
Breaker.
Not only is he destroyed by predictions, but like the only show I enjoyed. He's just ripped UK a new arsehole. So bonus league, it has changed things. Jaxie's on 6, Gina moves to 7, Monty on 8, I'm on 12, but that could have been a lot worse for everybody else. Match of the night, mine is the main event. Monty, what was yours? Was yours the main event as well, match of the night?
Main event, yeah.
And Jaxie and Gina, would it fair to say the ladder match for your matches of the night as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, ladder match definitely my favourite.
Excellent. So now what we want is the MVP of the night. For me, it's easy. You've already mentioned it as well. I'm going to say Jordan Devlin. I know I've undercut everybody, but I don't care. Jaxie, who's your MVP of the night?
Ilya Dragunov. Ilya, because Ilya Dragunov definitely just got robbed. So, yeah, definitely my MVP.
And Monty, what about you?
Yeah, you're right. I mentioned it a couple times already. Yeah, JD, he stole the show, man. As much as my biased heart would like to say Braun, just because I could rub it in again, I'm gonna say JD, like you said, James.
And Gina, what about you?
Yeah, Jordan Devlin.
And finally, rating out of 10. Jackson, what would you score at Halloween Havoc? I know the predictions didn't go well, but I think if you look at the opening match, what it delivered to the main event, it wasn't. Was it better than you thought it was going to be?
Definitely. I was drunk, so I mean, any product probably would have been great anyway. But I did. Again, watching it, I had a great time. So for me, I'll give this a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Monty, what would you score out of 10?
Yeah, I think you asked me at the beginning of in the prediction about did I think this card could be on TV, and I think, and we were talking about was it takeover worthy, and I think honestly I don't think this was a bad show, but I do believe the first and the last match were the only high level takeover worthy match, and if you know what I mean by takeover, their standard is pretty high if you're just going off the history. So I'm not trying to say any of this was bad. The rest of the card, in my opinion, probably could have ended up, even like Roxy, as much as I like that match, I thought it could have ended up on a regular Tuesday as like a just blow off of the feud also. So yeah, that's just me, though. I didn't have a problem with this. I thought the pacing of the show was a little bit, too, because this is the first time that I've known a takeover, the 6-match card that was a takeover, to be almost 3 hours. So I did notice that. But other than that, overall, this was still fun. And I did give it 7.5, I think, out of 10. So I thought it could have been better, but it was great.
The thing I hated is what they do with WWE pay-per-views, and they're doing it with takeovers, where they're putting Bianca Belair video packages in Charlotte. Just get fucking on with it. Old takeovers, you should just get on with it and get the job done. It's just too much fucking around, you know? And like I said, it's an excellent point where it could be either or not. Gina, did you enjoy it? Would you do it again? And what is your score?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll give it I don't know, 7.5 out of 10. Would I watch it again? Probably not. No. Yeah, that's all I got.
Did you watch another takeover event? Because we have got Deadline coming up on December 10th.
I mean, yeah, I will, but it's just going to be difficult for me. It's hard enough to squeeze as much wrestling as I do watch in already. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with the storylines for NXT, but I'll still tune in to the pay-per-view matches and just get a little catch up on some of the storylines, you know. But aside from that, I won't be watching it weekly like I do with the main shows.
I think I've faltered with this rating, you know. Like I said, I think it was an enjoyable show. I think the 2 matches were great. But like I said, I just felt there was something missing, you know, maybe like the pacing or something like that. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10, because I do like takeover events. I'm always a sucker for it. But that is it for our Halloween show, which is quite nicely wrapping everything up. I think that is it. Don't forget, of course. Does anybody else get anything else to say about Halloween Havoc or anything else? I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah,
said my piece.
Yeah, we are. You can tell we're ready to go, everybody. So that is it. Don't forget, we're across all social media, Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR JR, and you can find the entire WNR team on the Twitter banner. Monty, where can people find you?
At Mind Monty Pod on Twitter. Also, Mind of Monty on YouTube. Just click the link to my bio. Check out my stuff.
And Jaxie, what about you? Where can people find you?
I'm on both Instagram and Twitter at Jaxie Scarlett.
And finally, Gina.
I'm on the same, and I'm at Purple Pain.
Well, the WNR also on Facebook and Instagram. Across platforms, send us an email at WNRpodcast@gmail.com and YouTube, the podcast with the latest clips. Podcasts go at the same time on YouTube as do SoundCloud, on your phone. On your phone, I did that Northern. James also Spotify. I said my own name. And iTunes. I think I've had a breakdown, everybody. Quick, let's get this done. Where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode will be Impact Bound for Glory. And I know what people are saying, listen to this. But Bound for Glory was fucking... Shut up. I'm just getting round to it. All right? It's going to be the next episode. I love the listeners. That's great. But the next show, well, I say together, we have got a couple of pay-per-views coming up in November, of course, so we'll double that up when it comes to Survivor Series and Full Gear, because Gina, apparently I got the wrong fucking AEW pay-per-view when we did our review. I didn't hear the fucking end of it. But anyway, I'm over that as well. Jaxie will be you and me. Damn. I think Jaxie, I know. People are horrible. You and me, one-on-one, crown jewel. What are you thinking?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's what I want everybody to say. That's the thing. That'll make dreams come true. That'll be like November 8th or 9th.
I don't feel so overly enthusiastic about crown jewel. You know, we will get into it. But yeah, we'll get through it, James. Together, we'll get through it.
We will, and we've got through this together, the Halloween special. That is it. I was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. Thank you for joining.
It's been a pleasure.
We have got the mind of Monty again. So I didn't say it earlier, but I am glad you're back.
No.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back, and I can't wait to see what Apollo Crews' next superpower is.
Can't wait. Like I said, it's great to see you back. It's even better to see you front. And finally, the genius, which is Gina. I apologise for calling you a monster and a beast, and I will not call you anything else in the next show we do.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like maybe when G-Mode is out, she could be a monster and a beast, so I won't hold you to it. Don't worry. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me, and thanks everyone for listening. Happy Halloween, everybody, and bye.